Hi guys, Jason here, and today I'm going to be running and reviewing this Norfolk Southern Office Car Special F7 ABBA passenger set by MTH. This set was part of MTH's Dealer Appreciation Program back in 2007, and so only a select few of these sets were made. If I understand correctly, only about 250 were made. You're more than welcome to correct me if I'm wrong on that number, but because of the low numbers, this is a very rare set, and also from my understanding, this is probably one of the most sought after sets MTH has ever released. Now, the Norfolk Southern OCS is a real train that is out there in the real world. Norfolk Southern basically uses it as a hotel on rails when they go to certain events, such as the Masters Golf Tournament or the Kentucky Derby. It first debuted at Augusta, Georgia for the Masters back in 2007, I believe, and this set was also released in 2007. So when it first came out, I think most people didn't actually realize that this was a real train, or it wasn't recognized as a real symbol of Norfolk Southern. And so I think that's why it is so sought after today, because now most people do know of this engine in real life, and everybody makes a big deal about it when it comes through town. And there are just people just trying to get their hands on one of these sets. So I'll tell you about how I acquired mine. Now, like I said, this set was released back in 2007, and I, like a lot of other people, didn't realize that this was a train that was out there in real life. And so I just kind of let it go by and didn't give it much thought until a few years later, and everybody knows about this train. And I decided that it would be a great addition to my layout because I like Norfolk Southern so much, and it's such a great looking locomotive, great looking passenger cars. And so when I initially started looking, I was pretty disheartened because as I kept asking people about it, they were saying, it's impossible to get a hold of one. If you do find one, it's going to be priced ridiculously high. There's no chance you're going to get one. And so I almost gave up on the idea of owning one. Now, of course, there is a Williams by Bachmann version of this and a MTH Rail King version of this set, which are just fine sets. However, I collect Premier line equipment, which is top of the line detail and performance. So those really weren't options for me. Now, when I first started looking for this set, I found a few people through the internet who said that they might be willing to sell it. One guy said that he would sell it to me for a price that we agreed on, and it was almost all said and done, just about ready to have me go and pick it up in another state. And he emailed me back and said, I was taking pictures of it, and as I was running it around, I decided it's just too gorgeous of an engine, too gorgeous of a set for me to sell. And so he had to back out on that, and that got me pretty disheartened. Now, through all of this, I'd been talking to my local hobby shop, and I'd been talking with him, and I told him I was looking for one, and he said, well, I have one. And I said, what do you mean you have one? And he said, well, when it was released, I bought it for myself. I took it home. And I said, well, would you ever consider selling it? And he said, well, one day maybe I'll get rid of it. And so I was a little hopeful hearing that from him, and he said, I could have another person interested as well, and at this point I'm not really willing to sell it. So I kept going in every time to the shop, and I would remind him, hey, are you going to be selling that Norfolk Southern business train yet? And he'd keep saying, oh, no, not yet, not yet. And so I even offered him a price on it that was a little bit above original retail. And he said, well, I'll think about it. I'm just not ready to give it up at this point. And I said, all right, that's fine. I got a hold of another guy through email, another person willing to sell his set. And when I emailed him, he said he was only going to take a certain price, and it was just ridiculously set high, just way above the original retail value. And now I agree, this is a very rare set, and people are going to be willing to pay over retail, but he was just offering a ridiculous number. And so once again, I felt pretty disheartened, didn't think I was going to get it, and I just forgot about it, said, you know what, doesn't look like I'm ever going to get this set. Then back in about January, I was in the shop, and I was talking to the owner, and he said, you know, Jason, I actually think I'd like to sell you that Norfolk Southern set that you keep asking me about. And I said, really? He said, yeah, you're in here all the time, and you know, you've been a great customer, and I know you're a pretty good guy, so sure, I'd love to sell it to you. And I said, well, all right, I'm gonna have to start making some payments on it. And so I started making payments all the way back in January, and here we are, very end of May and beginning of June now, and I finally made the last payment on it, finally brought it home. Now, this set consists of ABBA, which is up front, a 5-car pack, the full Vista Dome, which I was very lucky to get as well, and there's 2 more 2-car packs, which I'm also getting. He just has them stored back in a shed, and he said that once he gets them out, he'll give me a call, and I'll go ahead on over there and make one last payment to pick up those last 4 cars. So there are 4 more cars that go with this set, but I'm pretty happy right now to have the ABBA 5 cars and the Vista Dome, and I'll add those other 4 cars in good time. One other cool thing to note, my dealer actually let me run this in the shop a few months ago, and I took out just the ABA and put it on the tracks and ran it for a little while, and I checked the chronometer to see how much runtime it had on it, and this set had less than 10 minutes. The ABA had less than 10 minutes of runtime on it. When I finally took the whole thing home, the extra B unit never had been taken out of the packaging. The 5-car pack never been taken out of the packaging, brand new. The full Vista Dome, brand new, never out of the box, never out of the packaging. So this really is a pretty much brand new mint set. And so I'm just thrilled to finally have gotten one, have it on my layout. It looks amazing. We'll look over the details here really quick. The engines are done up in the Southern paint scheme, but with the Norfolk Southern touch to it. And this is pretty top-end MTH stuff. Tons of details, lots of grab irons, opening and closing doors. This window here opens and shuts. Bunch of hoses and detail in the trucks. So the locomotives are first rate, and I have not found any flaws on them. Now, before you all go comment crazy and all of you rail fanners start saying that this isn't right and this isn't right, you can all just hold your tongues. Since this is a real locomotive, I know there's going to be a lot of people who might be saying, oh, they forgot this detail and they forgot this. You can keep your comments to yourself. This was done fantastically. It looks great, and it is extremely close to the real thing. It's amazing. I'm crazy about this locomotive. These cars are first rate as well. They look amazing. The colors are so crisp. The detail is excellent. They have all the names on them like in real life. All of these are 4-wheeled trucks. I know a lot of them in real life have 6-wheeled trucks, but they look amazing. The full Vista Dome is just incredible. And I know someone's going to mention something about the theater car, and no, that last car is not a theater car. MTH does not have the tooling for something like that, but it still is a very cool observation car. And the passenger cars are just great. Absolutely flawless and beautiful, as you can see. Okay, so now I'm gonna start it up, go through some of the sounds, and run around the layout a little bit. Well, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the run session. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.